Annie, welcome back to the Netherlands.
Thank you.
Last time you performed over here was at the Down the Rabbit Hole Festival 2022. And you said this beautiful thing during the show, the Dutch party like they have healthcare.
That's pretty good.
That's funny.
Yeah. That's true.
Do you remember like anything of that gig? Because that sentence is great, but yeah.
I remember that gig being really fun. I remember being really excited because Erykah Badu, who is a fellow Dallas girl and like my favorite, was playing. And she played, I guess, right after us, but she came on stage like 30 minutes late.
Yeah.
But they were like, oh, we're late. We flew in from London, so there was a time change. And I was thinking, like, I think there's only a couple places in the world where there's a 30-minute time change. Yeah. But whatever, she's Erykah Badu, she could do whatever the fuck she wants.
Yeah, and I also remember that edition because it was 2022. I called it because I had the timetable of the festival, like the main stage, the second stage. You were performing. Yeah. Girl in Red was performing. There was like this lesbian triangle. We as lesbians had to run on that day. It's a 3-day festival and they programmed you just after each other. So I tweeted like for fun, like this is homophobic, and the festival was like,
it's hateful.
They
it's
thought
hate crime.
I was like very angry. I wasn't, but it was such a beautiful edition.
But who was your favorite lesbian, you think?
Like of all the people on that day?
In 2020, who do you think?
You, of course.
Thank you.
Yeah, shout out. And I also, going down back memory lane, you were at the Down the Rabbit Hole Festival in 2018.
Yes.
Like personally, I fucked up my audio, so I had only like 2 minutes of the entire interview that we did.
Oh no!
I never dared to like confess that to anyone, but I just did. But we had an interview back then, and no one could ever like listen it back. But now we are on our second.
Here we are for real.
Yeah.
Had I written Cruel Summer? Was that what we were asking about, or were you just?
You were talking about like slow disco, and she told you to make the fast poppy version of it, right? Am I saying it correctly? I think you told me that Taylor Swift told you to make it into a pop song.
I have the worst memory in the world. I swear to God.
But how does it feel for you to be, driving in a car and hearing Cruel Summer on the radio every day, which I totally love, like 4 years later?
It's crazy.
It's crazy.
I mean, it's just like, it's such a crazy testament to Taylor's fans who are like, oh, no, this song's a hit. And then they just made it a hit. They can do anything.
Yeah.
Let's hope they make sure Donald Trump doesn't get reelected.
Yeah. But do you still feel attached as a co-writer to that song when you hear it? It's being played and being on the charts.
I mean, I feel so like it feels kind of out of body. Yeah.
I can imagine.
The world is wondrous.
Yeah. But here we are in 2024. You're celebrating your beautiful new record. Congratulations on that.
Thank you.
I don't want to be like the sapphic interviewer, the entire interview conversation, but I saw the footage of you in Belgium with the lesbian flag on stage in Antwerp, right? This week.
It's real. There's a lot of strobes and stuff on stage, right? And a fan threw it on stage, and I have a song called Candy Darling, about, great trans artist Candy Darling, and I thought that it was a trans flag, so I thought, this will be perfect. Oh, yeah. But it's just because I couldn't see the colors of the flag. Yeah. But yes, I happily, I think maybe it applies still. But yes, but I think I didn't. There are so many iterations of flags that afterward, because I wasn't sure which flag it was. Once I saw the colors, I was like, wait, which?
That was my next question. Like, did you recognize it as a lesbian flag? What am I doing? Yeah.
And I just wanted to I was like, I hope it's not like something like hectic or controversial. Like, I hope it wasn't just like, yada-da-da.
The footage of you online,
I know. That could have been the end of me, but yeah.
Yeah, because you're a motherfucking icon, and I was reading this article on Guardian that they were talking about this era of explicit queer female pop topping the charts. Yeah. Do you also experience like this kind of sapphic revolution?
There is there's definitely like Billie's new song Lunch is so good. It's like, I feel like that is a real kind of honest like that butterfly excitement, of like young love. That Chappell Roan is blowing up. She's great.
And the article also wrote a line about Flee, your song, and the lyrics of that song as well. Are you still like busy with women loving women or queer kind of themes in your music, or does it feel like you want it to apply to everyone?
Love,
Yeah.
like to me, growing up, when I grew up, and being queer, what it means is you know how to code switch, and you have multiple realities going on at all times.
Yeah.
And you're aware of gender as performance. You're aware of sexuality as performance. You're aware as identity as performance. So I've always put that into my work because I was very aware from a very young age that you sit like this. Okay. This. Okay.
This is what happens.
So, yeah. And there was certainly a time. Luckily, gay people don't have to live like that anymore. But there was certainly a time where there was the gay semiotics, the subtle codes, almost like being a spy or espionage.
Yeah.
The look that lasts just a little bit longer means this, and you're like, okay. And I mean, to me, it's probably fucked up. To me, there's something still very erotic about that. There's a root of like eroticism.
So
there.
if you know, that kind of feeling?
Yeah, there's that to me, the sort of like, but I'm also like obsessed with espionage. So those things probably have dovetailed somewhere.
I love your record. I'm so happy to have you, like back. That's also what we as listeners, as fans experience, like she's back. With Broken Man, for example. What happens in that production? Because you've produced this album entirely by yourself. You're amazing in the studio, because I see all those videos on your Instagram and you being with Dave Grohl drumming.
Yeah.
It's like, wow, what the fuck is she doing? It's so impressive.
The production, a lot of that song in particular.
Yeah.
It started with me setting up all my modular synths and drum machines and just tweaking for hours. Honestly, like waking up at 8 in the morning, little microdose of mushrooms, a lot of espresso, and then just.
Is that a good mix?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
If it's a micro, I can't like.
No, you can.
I'm not trying to like trip.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm trying to get work done.
Yeah.
But
just caffeinated, like with espresso. Yeah.
It's
that
a
me
good
espresso.
vibe.
Yeah.
I think to me it's my favorite. It's my favorite combo. And then just like playing with sound until I kind of found this, and like going, okay, that has a soul to me. That has something I can like build a whole song around it. And then just kind of riffing over that as a singer, going like, oh, what does this make me feel? And then also feeling like I wanted there to be these like jabs of acoustic, just and like white noise, high end stabs. And so anyway, I had the song written. I did basic tracking with drums and bass on it at Electrical Audio, which is R.I.P. Steve Albini's studio in Chicago. And the song was really cool with JMJ playing bass and Mark Juliana. And then I was like, it just needs to go up one extra, because the song kind of goes, it's like a, stair step in terms of its emotional arc, I guess. And so I was like, you know what? I had Dave over to play on a song called Flee, and I was like, Dave, would you take a crack at the end of this? See what would you do here? And I think the second take of his instinct was the keeper for the song.
Yeah, it's so good. Oh my god.
Did I talk too much about that?
No, go
Okay.
ahead. I can listen for hours. I feel like I'm recording a kind of Song Exploder podcast right here.
Yeah.
Could you give like the people that are watching this video and haven't seen you perform it live, give a little bit of a sense what they could expect from the record live, because as you mentioned, like the visual aspect, and when you play it on Spotify, you have the flames, like of course with the cover artwork, it's like there's a kind of rage or like hotness in it, which I really love.
Real rage.
Yeah. So what of that do we see like on stage?
On stage,
is there already like maybe a favorite of you to play from the latest record?
You know, the new what I'm finding, and it's the first time this has ever happened to me, honestly, is like people are more excited about the new material than the old material, which is like, as an artist, you know, sometimes you're like, well, I put a new record out, and people are like, okay, we'll let you play a few new songs, but play us the ones that we know and love. But in this case, like, people are really here for this new record in a way that I
you can really feel it, like measure it with the reactions.
New.
Yeah,
it's new to me. It's cool. It's very cool.
Really looking forward to the gig at Best Kept Secrets Festival.
Yeah, thank you.